Like a good earthly father, there will be times when your heavenly Father will tell you no. You will ask him for something noble, something good, maybe for you, maybe for someone you love, and God will straight up say no. When that happens to you, you're in good company because God said no to a lot of people. There were times and situations when almost every hero of the Old Testament asked God for something and God said no. Fast forward to the New Testament, and there was this best friend of Jesus named Lazarus who was sick. And so his sister sent Jesus a message: your friend is sick. If you would come, you could heal him. So please come and heal your friend. And Jesus straight up says no. And Lazarus dies. And then in his own words, there was a time when Jesus said, I am troubled to the point of death. So he goes and he prays, and his prayer is, God, please don't make me hang on a cross and die for all these sinful people. And God looks at his son and says, no. So if God says no to his own son, you better believe he's comfortable saying no to people like me, people like you. So what do we do when God says no? There's this great old guy in the Old Testament we looked at yesterday named Habakkuk, who was a prophet during a time when Israel did what they did. They turned their backs on God, and they started to worship false gods and false idols. And Habakkuk is concerned, and so he climbs a mountain and he prays, dear God, please turn the hearts of your people back to you. What a noble prayer. But God says, no, I'm not doing that. In fact, what I'm going to do is bring in a nation that's more corrupt, more evil, more wicked. I'm going to bring them in to judge your nation. And the scriptures tell us, and the Babylonian chronicles tell us, and history tells us that about that time, the Babylonian Empire marches into Judah, takes 2/3 of the people away, and sends them 600 miles away to live in a foreign land as exiles. And the nation of Judah is pretty much destroyed, wiped off the planet. And for 70 years, those people live under a note. They live in captivity. They live as prisoners in Babylon. Generations of people die. Thousands of people die living as prisoners. Thousands of people are born, never knowing the freedom of living in their own country, in their own land. All because God said no. What do you do when God says no? Well, the easy answer is you trust that he knows better than you do. And like a good parent, when he sees us asking for something that ultimately is not good for us, he will say no. If you've ever had a child or a grandkid ask you for marshmallows and chocolate syrup for breakfast, I hope you said no, because you know better. You know that's a bad idea. There are times when if you love somebody, you will tell them no, because you see things different. You see a bigger picture than they're capable of seeing. So if God is telling you no today, trust that he knows better. He knows best, and he wants what's best for you. And a no today is so that he can say something like yes tomorrow. A no today is preparation for tomorrow's blessing. Historians tell us and theologians tell us that at the end of that 70-year exile in Babylon, when the Hebrew people were allowed to go back home and rebuild their lives, it wasn't until then, it wasn't until after the 70-year exile, that Israel was finally, once and for all, done with idol worship. They were truly a monotheistic religion after that time in exile. This was the time when the religion of the Jews really gained foot. This was the time when worshiping one God, Yahweh, held fast. Why? Because God said no, knowing that 70 years later, the whole world would be different, their whole perspective would be different, everything about them would be different, and they would be ready to step into the blessing that he had planned for them. So, if God is saying no to you today, take heart, my friend, because you are in good company. Even the Son of God heard God say no. Why? For your good. When God says no, it's for your good. So keep trusting, keep serving, don't force your way. Just trust that God knows what's best for you, and he's working out what's best for you. A no today is preparation for something good in your future. So hang on.